Hello everyone. Today we're going to be taking a look at arithmetic. So this is going to be a review of arithmetic, and we're going to look at addition, subtraction, and multiplication. We're also going to be taking a look at fractions, decimals, percentages, negative numbers, and the order of operations. So let's just begin. A fraction. What does it mean? What are we talking about? So typically a fraction, you're going to have some number n in the numerator divided by some number d in the denominator. So the number d in the denominator is going to represent your total number of elements, right? N, that is going to represent like how many of the total do you have. So how many do we have? So for example, if we have a carton of 6 sodas, and I'm just going to draw like a top view. If I'm like looking down, you know how sodas come in like those plastic, I don't even know what they call them, but they're like tied together and arranged such that if you look at it from the top, the 6 soda cans look like this. And let's say that we bought this box from the store, but we find out that instead of 6, we only have this many. It looks like this when we look inside the box, and 2 of them are not there. So how many do we have? Well, to figure out this number n, we basically just count the green ones. And so n is 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, D, the total number. Well, we know it's a 6-pack, right? But we can also simply just count all of the cans, and we know that it's 6. This means that the fraction that represents how many we have versus how many total there should be is 4 divided by 6. All right, so that is an unsimplified fraction. If you remember, what we can do is we can find the greatest common factor between 4 and 6. And that's how we write it. Greatest common factor, open parentheses, 4, 6, close parentheses. Normally, we could just like do a tree where we write out the factor tree, and I'll just do that right now. This is called prime factorization. And basically what we're doing is we're breaking down the initial numbers 4 and 6 into their prime factors. 2 and 2 and 3 and 2. The greatest common factor that they have between them, well, let's check. It looks like we have a 3 over here. Do we have a 3 over here? No. So 3 is not the greatest common factor. The only other viable option is going to be 2. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take the number n, which is 4, and divide it by 2 on the top. And we're going to take the number 6, which is d, and we're going to divide it by 2. We're dividing each number by the greatest common factor. And that gives us 2 divided by 3. And this is our final simplified fraction. Now, talking about decimals, how do we do this? Well, okay, let's just turn 2/3 into a decimal. Let's just do that. We have to do this by long division. Okay, so decimals are going to involve long division. They don't always have to. You can memorize them. Like this one we're about to do, I have memorized, but I'm going to show it to you just for the sake of being thorough. And so basically what we're doing here is we're saying, okay, well, how many times does 3 go into 2, right? So if we want to convert 2/3 to a decimal, we have to say how many times does 3 go into 2? How can we split 2 up 3 times, right? Because that's really what this is right here. If we draw this like a pie that's split up into 3 equal regions, and 2 of them are occupied, we're basically saying how much less than 1 do we have, right? And 2 goes into 3 more than once. It's like a little more than 1. It's actually 1.5. But 3 going into 2, that's different. That's not even 1. That doesn't make it to 1 yet. It's not quite 1 yet. So this is why we're doing the long division. And if you recall, what I'm going to do is how many times does 3 go into 2? Well, not 1, and you can only write integers in these spots, so 0. And then I'm going to put a 0 here, subtract. That's going to give me a remainder of 2. But I'm not going to let that slide. We're going to keep going. So I'm going to add a decimal and put a 0. Bring it down. Then I'm going to say how many times does 3 go into 20? Well, that's cool. So I can count on my fingers. So 3, and I can count by 3s, right? So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. All right. So I think if I go over, I don't want to go over, right? Because then I get to 21 if I do it again. So I'll just tally this up here. So what do we have? We have 6. So we've got 6. Well, what's 3 times 6? It's 18. Set up your subtraction tower, what I like to call it, a little subtraction tower. What's 20 minus 18? Come on. It's 2. All right, and then look, it looks like we're finding ourselves in the same position where if we add another 0 here, drop it down, say how many times does 3 go into 20, and then repeat the process. We already figured out that that's 6. That's going to go on for eternity. I mean, we could sit here all day and just keep doing the same problems, 20 minus 18, over and over again. How many times does 3 go into 2, but I'm already seeing a pattern. I'm seeing that 0.66, and then it's going to be 6666, and so on forever. So that just means that 2/3 of the decimal is 0.66, and then I'm just going to put 7 just to round up. I think 3 significant figures is enough. If you're confused about what a significant figure is, it's the amount of numbers beyond the decimal point. Sometimes they'll abbreviate abbreviate this as sig figs. So that's just a little bit of knowledge for you there. Let's see. So let's go over percentages now. Let's turn that number 0.667, let's turn it into a percentage. All we have to do is just multiply that number by 100. So we start with 0.667, and we want to go to, so we're going from decimal to percentage. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just, basically this little thing, this is a machine. And it says multiply whatever this is on the left side by 100. So if I do that, I'll just write it out so you can see. My program is getting slow here. Times 100. Look at this. We have 2 zeros right here in the 100. Whenever we multiply a number by 100, which has 2 zeros, or any number of zeros, we just move the decimal point over that many zeros. And so you'll make this little W that shows that you're moving not 1, but 2 spaces because you have 2 zeros in 100. And that gives you your answer in percentage form. And if you can work that out before I write it down, bonus points. And don't forget your symbol. You have to tell people you're talking about percentages. Otherwise, things can get really confusing, and it's no good for anybody involved. So here was a basic arithmetic lesson for you all. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. Press the bell notification so that you will know when I release a new video, which I will be doing very frequently in the next coming months. With that said, I wish you all the best in your studies. Good luck and have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time.